Up next comes from NestleSnipes. They write, what influence has TV and film had on your musical tastes? Hey Arnold turned me and millions of other 90s kids into jazz fans. Because of Chappelle's show, I decided to give Rick James, Prince, and Shalamar a listen.
Oh my God, I want to kill you.
They said the boot. Come on, Ben, come on. It's different. A generational kids is different, okay? The Boondocks introduced me to MF Doom. So using that as an understanding, has there been any TV shows, cartoons that put you on this different music? Well, you know, are you still thinking? Are you upset? You want me to go real quick?
You go.
I'll go real quick. This is not the end all be all, but this is just one example, and I'll come back later with more. But mine wasn't actually TV and film; it was video games. So, Jet Grind Radio put me on to, first of all, it put me on to a lot of J-pop music. And I know a lot of people don't listen to that, but it put me onto that kind of wave and that whole electronic / dance stuff. That wasn't the first time I heard it, but it put me more onto it. So I started perusing that more, getting a little bit into EDM, getting a little bit into just all of that. So I would say video games had a great effect on my musical taste as well.
So for me, I have a video game one and I have actual TV and film. So for video games, Grand Theft Auto 4, their radio was elite. Like you could be driving around and really think you're listening to Sirius XM or whatever your local hip hop, pop, top 40, rock. They had everything. And then they even had people recording original music that got played in the radio. Yeah. No, Nas has this track, War is Necessary, that is like one of the hottest tracks I've heard from him, just on as an aside, as a whatever. And it's in Grand Theft Auto 4 and on Funk Flex's station. So this is even before like Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, all the streaming stuff. And it sounds like a precursor to streaming. So I would hear new rap, new pop, new everything from that. And it kind of put me on. Then as far as TV goes, so back in the day, in the early aughts, MTV used to play music videos, right? So they used to play music videos and they used to have a midnight music show where they would play all the top videos requested and what was hot. And I used to work the booth on my college campus. For those who know, affectionately known as booth Nazis, the people who swipe you into the dorms. So I was doing that.
One of those. Ugh.
But I was fair. I was fair. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't, let me see your ID, mister. I wasn't Mr. Otis, but if I knew you and I knew you from campus and you were a dead ass student, yeah, you got go ahead. But the feds was watching, so I had to be like, have you swiped? so that night they used to play everything, and it was music that I probably wouldn't have listened to without watching it. But I would hear certain stuff, and I'm like, oh, nah, this is all hot. And I don't know if that was the delirium because I was working an overnight shift. I would work like 12 to 8 or 12 to 10 or something like that. But it was rocking. So that put me on to a whole lot of stuff.
It's tough for me just because I've always had really eclectic and weird musical taste. Like even before, like I didn't even get into hip hop first. I was always into other shit, and then hip hop came into it. And then after hip hop came into it, I just got into everything because of hip hop. So because hip hop samples everything. So that's tough for me. But certain shows like Breaking Bad definitely had some ill-ass music that I'd never heard before. And so there were songs on there that I just fell in love with because of Breaking Bad. I even did a Breaking Bad mixtape at one point for Fan Bros that is, out there you can find on the internets. And has like all the different songs mixed together that they used on there. So Breaking Bad is one of them. That was one of the best shows of music. There was another one that I cannot think of right now, but Breaking Bad is one that really got me as far as like, music that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, just generally speaking, if it's been TV and film that has got me into the music, it's really been video games and people. People like my sister. being older, being able to listen to stuff that I wasn't allowed to listen to, but she would play it when I was in the car with her. So I got into rock because of her. Like the first rock song I ever heard was Teen Spirit. Well, I don't know if you call that alternative or grunge, but the first song I ever heard was with Nirvana, Teen Spirit. So that got me into everything else. And that's how it is with me. It's more of a domino effect. I love music, just period. I love music. And if I hear something that I really like, that I'm gonna go down a YouTube rabbit hole and find anything related. And, I'm going to find everything about that artist, listen to their stuff, and then go down about the related artists. And that's generally how I learn about other music and how I like expand my musical palette. Like I'm the domino effect type person. It's just like, if you put me onto something one time that sounds really fire and it's a something that I've never heard before, I'm probably going to learn more about it right on my own.
Fun fact, Smells Like Teen Spirit is my go-to karaoke song.
Oh, that's such a good karaoke song. Any song where you yelling at the top of your lungs is a great karaoke song.
I bought a hoodie once. I thought I was Kurt Cobain. Peak Kurt Cobain.
You know what's a great karaoke? Paramore. Almost any Paramore. I love Paramore.
God.
Ben's making faces, but I love.
Paramore was cool. They had some joints. I can't front on that.
Yo, and speaking of mixtapes based off of TV, shout out to my dude Richie Branson, aka Marcus, my coworker at BR. He did Life After Death Star. I don't know if you guys remember that mixtape.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, it's dope.
He was the one behind it. And when I tell you, when he came to my job and we figured it out, when he was like, yeah, I did this mixtape. It was called, I don't know if you heard Life. I was like, what? That's you? I fanned out for real. I was like, dogs, you don't understand. I was playing that in my crib like Biggie came back to life. Just
we had that on the show. 10 Crack Commandments. I used to play that as one of the intros.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shout out to him.